Hello, welcome back to Sushi Sketchbook. In this episode, I'm gonna give you a little bit of drawing techniques. Basically, I will do a bit of improvisations using grease pencil. So let's just switch to 2D animation. So normally with grease pencil, you actually use it for animations, right? You draw something and you switch to a different frame, and then you draw another keyframe. So that way you have some kind of animations. But sometimes you can actually use these techniques instead of to draw animations keyframe. You actually use it to draw a single artwork. So let's delete everything. So let's say you're starting with some kind of scribble. Usually, if you're doing live drawing, so you have like a reference human figure as someone that's posing out there. You kind of want to draw the kind of like a squiggle, right? This is usually the start of figure drawing. You can do that like in few seconds. That's kind of like drawing the force, and then from that drawing you can actually draw on top of it and start to add more body to it, kind of trying to kind of go with the flow, and then kind of trying to make sense what you're trying to draw. So there's a outside of frame there, but that's okay. And then if you continue on with this is actually quite interesting because you're kind of blocking out the pose while at the same time you're trying to make your final artwork or final drawing kind of looks nicer. So I'll try to get the flow there. So I do this every 5 frames, and I keep all the keyframe, and you will see in the end the final result. So what's interesting about this is that um, you're working with straight line and curve, and still because I'm drawing with mouse, right, and it can be quite scribbly, so it's not really precise, but I found it quite nice exercise as well. And you start thinking, okay, you think about maybe like clothing or things like that. So it's depending on your drawing style. Also, you kind of start to wonder how your character is going to be. So this one is the body shape and everything seems like kind of realistic in a way. So I worked out the proportions, like, um, but I still kind of wondering how I should make this. Like, I could make it like a. Is this is more like a female character, right? So I still don't know. Yeah, it could be a female character with the body shape, and keep it simple, I guess. I make it too realistic because I originally want this to be like more cartoony. It's okay, we can continue with this. So I'm trying to make this a little bit more precise at this point because it's kind of like an iteration starting from blocking, and we're starting to get something out. I don't know, with his character, should I make it okay? Let's make it short hair, for example. The dress, the clothes. All right, this character is probably kind of like just doing a bit of dancing. This is of course everything is very kind of like improvisations. You want to better plan it, but I mean, if you're doing like a figure drawing, you have your reference posing over there. This can be quite an interesting exercise. And this is I think it's quite nice actually to be able to do this. And at this point you can save it, and you keep tracing on top of it. There's one time there's this animator who do a live drawing with me, and then he suggests that I don't erase. Instead of I keep drawing on top of what I'm drawing. So if you're drawing with a black, you draw white on top of it, and then just keep adding to it. That way you can kind of trace where you're going and how you can improve what you already have. So instead of making everything, okay, it has to be drawn right away, you kind of iterate over it, and that way you get something that's more like solid. I mean, if I were to draw a character from my own style, for example, I have my own style. I tend to draw cartoony character like this. But if I'm using reference, I can, and then I kind of caricaturize the character, and I can end up with a lot of other variations, all kind of variations. So this is like my cartoony character. So of course with grease pencil, so far I only use the stroke, line stroke. There's also fill, of course, and we can, with the fill, you of course want to also use the fill, solid fill, and then starting to give some details, like for your drawing. I hardly use fill actually, but the fill in grease pencil is quite nice too. So you simply basically drawing shapes. And with the drawing, actually, if you go this far, okay, I keep the solid fill, go back to lines. If you use a different tool, like I'm only using my mouse right now, I want to get closer to my drawing, and let's try. Okay, this ink. I'm actually pretty good with strokes, I guess. I'm not pretty good, I mean more confident with stroke. So I like to draw just the outline of character like in manga. And so with this line alone, you can get quite an expressive result. I mean, this definitely can be much better in terms of execution. Okay, that's it. For her hands, I make it a little bit fancier. Now let's draw her leg, and at this point you end up with a character, and it would be nice to make her dancing as well. But you get the idea. So we start with just a gestural drawing, and we start to build a form and make a character. So I really like this inking process. So this is just a single frame, however, and if you want to make whole animations, maybe this is not the right way to go, but it's good for storyboarding, I guess, and for manga, frame of manga. So yeah, hopefully you find this useful. Let me know what you think. Maybe there's a better way to do this, and like you still do the layering stuff with a proper layer while you're drawing. But I like to be able to quickly switch between frames like that. Okay, thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.